What ruddy little sneaky blaggers we are.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hogwan, you little lang tings, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. I'm not, guys. I have a stinking cold. We've reached peak sickness. I'm talking a biblical level of the sniffles here. Greek tragedy, concentration of man flu. It's rough out here, so stick with me. And if I wasn't feeling so bad and running on one cylinder, I'd make an April Fool's joke about something, but sadly we ain't got the juice today. We are going to talk about Chelsea blagging again, reporting best part of £150 million profit after, guess what? Yes, you've guessed it, another loophole, selling one of their own assets to themselves, because there won't be much else to sell, yeah? You know? Badadek Barley is going to be looking around, and he'll be like, there's not much to sell here. I'm going to have to put my ass to the street. I can't. No, I will not make a joke about Badadek Barley selling his behind, because there's no more assets in the club. Look, we're going to speak about that from the BBC. I believe it's Nizar Kinsella who wrote that. Surely it's Naz, isn't it? It doesn't say. Why did not say? Oh, it is. I think it is. Joao Felix, football's orphan, the Greek tragedy. Speaking of Greek tragedies, keeps happening. Romana's confirmed about him. But yeah, chances created. Apparently Chelsea is still good. Go figure. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'll thank you for your support of my content. It is most welcome. You might be asking, hey Jan, you're a good guy. How do I support you? Well, it's easy. You like and subscribe to this channel. I've got a lem sip here. For those non-English, I mean, is Lemsip international? It's like a hot paracetamol-based beverage to soothe the soul. Yeah, you can like and subscribe. And I've also got a merch line out, Football Therapy and Go Gang stuff. There'll be product links down below, I believe. Oh, that is naughty. The blackcurrant one as well. It's like hot Ribena. Anyone used to have hot Ribena when you were young? I remember when I was young, you know, you'd have hot drinks like hot chocolates and stuff. And must have been a kid in my school with a hot Ribena. And I thought, you freaking nutter, you psychopath. Like, this kid's going to grow up and be a murderer. Until I had one. I mean, I haven't had one since I've been an adult. An adult. But as a kid, it was a game changer. Hot Ribena in the winter. What am I talking about? This kid. Oh man, I've got like delirium. I've tried to put some stuff together that I want to talk about. First of all, Chelsea have created the third amount of big chances in the league. Only 2 behind Arsenal, Liverpool unsurprisingly first. So more big chances than Man City and Dem Man. Which is good, no matter what. Rightly, we're frustrated. And yes, a lot of these seasonal statistics may have been weighted from the first half of the season when we were playing more risky transitional football that Maresca apparently wasn't enjoying, even though we were, apparently in a title race back then, or were we? But you will still look at the whole season sample size at the end and go, right, how good were Chelsea? What did they do well? And what did they do badly? Create a lot of big chances for however boring the football can be. And we'll look at, and we'll know when the season ends how we're looking going into the next campaign. Can we make this football work? Is it sustainable for winning? Can we be entertained? And etc. But yeah, third biggest total of big chances created. Come on, Jan. Oh yeah, okay. Poor little Joao Felix, the Portuguese magician, who I have been very firm on. Man, that is not. I've done nothing to Joao Felix. My words are failing me. I've been very transparent on my position with Joao Felix, and I think he's a very talented player. I've not done anything in any positions with Joao Felix. I've not been firm on him in any other rude ways. I just think he's a good footballer, and I've been consistent with my opinion how I'd like it to work. But Romano has said, barring any last-minute surprises, Joao Felix will be back at Chelsea. They will decide whether to keep him or try a different solution. Before we talk about a different solution, yeah, his loan spell at Milan's been nothing short of awful. Yeah, of all like the high-profile loans you think about in Europe, and I'm thinking Marco Asensio, I'm thinking Rashford, I'm thinking Antony at Betis, I'm thinking even Disasi at Villa, Sancho at Chelsea, which of course started well and has tailed off. The worst high-profile loan probably out in Europe right now is Joao Felix to Milan, which is a shame because a lot after that debut when he scored that beautiful lobbed goal, a lot of people thought he was going to cook. And of course, a lot of people hoped that. Even Chelsea fans that either want him to come back and be considered or, remind people that he's got good value, generate a high value so Chelsea can recoup their money that they invested on him when, George Mensch got his way again with Chelsea basically giving him money and his players coming over here. So yes, Romano goes on to say, and this is kind of what I said, Turkey or Saudi Arabia. And maybe back to Benfica. Did he come from Benfica or was it Benfica he came from, or was it Sporting? I think it might have been Benfica because I know Fernandez came from there as well. Look, man. Firstly, I did say Saudi Arabia or Turkey a few weeks ago, but I didn't really think he'd go to Saudi Arabia, and now freaking Romano's saying it. I mean, look, this guy's been struggling to break into the starting 11 of Portugal. He was like always coming off the bench, but our boy Neto was starting. But I thought there was a chance. He's mid-20s. He was like the golden. I know Leao came along and sort of stole his thunder a little bit. But he's only 20. He's just turned 25, bro. He's entering his prime as like one of the most expensive, mercurial, exciting Portuguese attackers ever. It would be such a shame for him to go to Saudi Arabia at 25. Now, Turkey, I did say Turkey. I said Galatasaray's are calling. But it's not, this is still like a Champions League team that not only will have fun in the Champions League and amazing footballing culture, city, fan base, support, look at Osimhen's having a lovely time there, and of course we know Drogba went there, and loads of big players. Icardi went there like in his prime as well. So I could see Turkey, but Saudi Arabia, I mean, if you ask the Chelsea owners, they'd probably be like, yes, please. Give me that sweet Saudi Arabian money, which of course we've capitalized off before with the sales of Edouard Mendy and Kalidou Koulibaly as well. So let's talk about Chelsea owners and money, shall we? And this is, of course, with the recent published Companies House reports. I'm going to pause the recording and sip my drink and probably blow my nose. Right. Companies House report has been published. And Nizar, I believe Nizar Kinsella of the BBC, writes this. Chelsea have reported a pre-tax profit of a £128.4 million. Profit. Non-Champions League Chelsea, Conference League Chelsea. Get this. No front of shirt main sponsor Chelsea. Banking nearly £130 million profit. The figure was an improvement on the first full year under the ownership of Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital's consortium, in which the Premier League club announced a pre-tax loss of over 90 million. So 130 million pre-tax profit, ahead of the previous accounts, which in the first full year was 90 million loss. Chelsea's overall revenue fell from 512 million in 2023 to 468 million, which the club, of course, attributed to the men's team no longer being in the Champions League. The club credited the profit of the disposal. The club credited the profit to the, quote, disposal of player registrations worth 152 million, and the repositioning of the highly successful women's team. Yeah, I'm gonna get the what Chelsea statement up for a second. Here we go. So this is off the Chelsea website right here, baby. Chelsea FC Holdings Limited, which is now what we're called on Companies House, is now consolidated accounts for the year ending in the 30th of June at Companies House in 2024. The profit of the year before taxation, so this is year before the tax profit, was nearly 130 million quid compared to the loss of 90 million the previous year. Oh, look how much better we are. The repositioning of Chelsea's women's team, which is now Chelsea Football Club Women Limited, moving it around, asset renaming. This new approach will ensure Chelsea Women has a dedicated resources, management, and commercial leadership solely focused on the growth and success of the women's team. Now look. First of all, credit where credit's due. The women's team has been nothing short of incredible, and the appointment of Sonia Bonpastor has been also incredible, and indeed the ambition through, high profile signings, like Walsh, Bronze, and breaking the transfer record on a centre back, on a defender, is impressive. And it shows dedication, and also the fact how they are dedicating the women's team and again, obviously for cynical reasons, because it's going to make money, and even the women's game is undervalued. It doesn't earn much money, but they're seeing a span for growth. Obviously, the women's team has a front of shirt sponsor, it's 3, like our old men's first team one, and they're like trailblazers in that, and giving the women their own, sponsorship deals, this, that, and the other, and taking them real seriously and trying to be a real big powerhouse. And they're trying to include this in their statement about the financial results. Great. It's great. So well done. Excuse me. So obviously I don't think we've got anything less to sell, right? We've sold the hotels. Yeah, we've done all the amortization loopholes that have all closed now. We've sold the hotels. We've sold the women's team, so they can put more money into the club, so they want to find a way they can spend more of their money without breaching profit and sustainability rules. And fair enough, they've done it. It's cynical because it's moving stuff around, but to be honest, what's different? Well, obviously, if they were to sell Chelsea, the people who would buy Chelsea will be looking to buy all the companies. Do you know what I mean? All the Blue Co related companies that were once Chelsea, now they're all separate entities under the Blue Co umbrella. So I'm presumably, say there was a magical billionaire that went, I want to buy Chelsea. You'd assume they'd get quoted for Chelsea Women's Limited, or this, that, and the other, Chelsea Holdings Limited. All those kind of things, they'd be sold as one. So I don't think in the end it actually makes a difference that they've been split up and there's been this creative accounting. It's probably actually a good thing. I wonder if when they bought Chelsea, they sort of saw this coming. They thought, right, well, we want to clear house. We want to, build a whole new team and structure. Obviously, they wanted to probably win a trophy in this time and qualify for the Champions League, which has been a failure. You have to say it's been a failure. But I reckon they were saying, right, how can we get ahead to spend loads of money at the beginning to buy an Enzo Fernandez, to buy Caicedo, to buy a £60 million Lavia, to buy £70 million Fofana, and all the other players in between that are part of their wider scouting and network and youth project and plan. Well, we'll do this way we'll dance around PSR rules, and we will find a way to get ahead ultimately. Look, it's a positive thing. No matter what your position is with Chelsea, the sporting owner, the sporting directors, the owners, you want Chelsea to be in a financially healthy position. You want Chelsea not to be falling foul of any financial rules and restrictions. Look at what's going on with Man City and, obviously Forest and Everton and stuff. If you said, right, Chelsea have found a way to not have that happen to them and actually book a big profit, you have to say well done. Because there's these people in every single big sporting institution in the world that this is their job to find a way to do it, and the people at Chelsea have done it clearly very well. Unless you can tell me for your own reasons why this is really, really bad. And by the way, I'm an open book. Feel free to talk me into it. You know, I'm only expressing my instantaneous opinion and reflexes. So if you want to educate me, drop the knowledge bombs all over me. But for this, like, for what it is, great. We're in a stronger position. I guess we can sign a big striker in the summer now and not worry about FFP. Good. And if they are truly dedicating all this financial muscle and, you know, isolated attention into the women's team, then that's a good thing. Right? Let me know. I can't do a 20-minute video today, guys, because I keep blowing my nose and pausing the recording. I'm horrendously sick, but I want to be here for you. If you want to be here for me, if you want to be firm on Joao Felix and have different positions with him, then like the video. Or if you don't like the video, whichever will get me more likes. Alright, mate. See you soon. Peace.